Welcome to 7 Report and our in-depth review of the SMOK TFV12 Cloud Beast King provided by our friends at Huff and Puffers. Technically, the law of diminishing returns is an economics theory, but it does have application in just about every area of life. The basic concept states that at some point, adding more of a factor of production causes a relatively smaller increase in output. A traditional example of the law of diminishing returns is taken from farming. Let's say that a bushel of corn seed planted on an acre of ground will yield 1 ton of corn. Planting a second bushel yields 1 3/4 tons of corn. Adding a third bushel yields 2 1/4 tons of corn. With each additional bushel of seed, the output does increase, but the amount of the increase is smaller with each additional bushel of seed. That is diminishing returns. Now, what does that have to do with the SMOK TFV12? Well, this is the third iteration of the SMOK TFV tank series. The first, the TFV4, that tank, an amazing advancement in sub-ohm tanks, providing an amazing increase in both vapor and flavor production compared to any other tank that had come before it, at least compared to any other tank that had come before it that I had personally used. Then came the SMOK TFV8. Now, this tank boasted coils that could handle higher wattages and increased airflow, which combined to produce more vapor and flavor than the TFV4. Though the most recent addition to the TFV line is the SMOK TFV12, with coils with even higher wattage allowances and another increase in airflow. And yes, vapor and flavor production have again been increased. Maybe not as much as was the case with the earlier TFV tanks, but it does represent an increase all the same. The SMOK TFV12 has a 6 ml e-juice capacity, which is fairly healthy, and it retains that now traditional swivel top fill mechanism. Find that little arrow and you just open it up right along there. It's going to swivel on the back, and you put your dripper or your tip of your squeeze bottle into that e-juice fill port, and that's how you fill the tank up. Now, airflow is adjustable. See here, I've got a fairly tight airflow on it with this coil, the Q4 in there, but it'll open all the way up to give you quite a bit of airflow if you like a nice airy draw. And there's one of those airflow ports on either side of the tank. And it's really fairly simple just to open or close that a little bit and find the airflow that you like the best. Now, SMOK does include 3 coils when they ship the TFV12. They ship it with the 0.12 ohm V12 T12 Duandary, which means 12, coil already installed. Now, the V12 T12 has a wattage range of 60 to 350 watts with a best range of 130 to 200 watts. And SMOK says that this coil is for cloud vapor chasing. And I found that to be true. I've already used up that coil in the first few weeks of vaping with the TFV12. Then there's the 0.15 ohm V12 X4 quad coil. Now that has a range of 60 to 220 watts. Let's see if I can get that to focus for you. With a best range of 100 to 170 watts. And this coil is described by SMOK as bringing deep, rich cloud taste. And the third coil, which I'm using right now, is the T12, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, with that e-juice in there, but it is the V12Q4, described as bringing smooth taste. It has a range of 60 to 190 watts with a best range of 90 to 160 watts. And it does bring really very smooth taste. SMOK ships the Cloud Beast King, the TFV12, with one of the tanks. Then you have the 0.12 ohm V12T12 Duandary coil, one 0.15 ohm V12X4 quad coil, and then the one that I've got installed right now is the V12Q4 0.15 ohm quad coil. They also include a replacement glass tube, a tank band, which for some reason I've never gotten around to putting on there yet. It says the Beast King on it, and a set of replacement O-rings and gaskets, and then again a pretty comprehensive owner's manual. Both vapor and flavor production are amazing on the SMOK TFV12. The inner diameter of the airflow tube and the drip tip are the biggest SMOK has ever made, and the airflow control is also increased. The major contributors to all of that vapor and flavor are those coils. Now, so far I have used two of the three coils included, the V12T12, that Duandary coil, and the V12Q4. Now, each of them has lived up to their description. The T12 produces huge clouds, and the Q4, which I have in there right now, does produce a smoother vapor. Both provide rich, deep flavor, highlighting the nuances of every e-juice that I have vaped in the TFV12. SMOK has given the TFV12 a fairly impressive feature set, from that very convenient swivel top fill system. Makes it very easy to fill, and unless you get a little messy, sometimes you get a little bit of e-juice on top of that gasket. It's a fairly neat method of filling your tank. It has a pretty healthy 6 mil capacity, and of course the inclusion of that tank band, the extra glass tube, and the O-rings are all very nice features. Now, the strength of the SMOK TFV12 is the coils, and the fact that SMOK includes 3 different types of coils is really probably its strongest feature. Gives you an opportunity to try those 3 different types to find the one that best suits your style of vaping. And SMOK also offers several other replacement coils, including the V12T8, which is a 0.16 ohm octuple coil, and the V12T6, a 0.17 sextuple coil, and they make 2 RBA decks for the TFV12 as well. And SMOK offers the TFV12, I think it's, we'll count them here, it's I think 7 colors. The gold that I have here, black, silver, a 7-color model, blue, gunmetal, green, purple, and red. No, that's 9 different colors available in the TFV12 by SMOK. Made from stainless steel and food-grade glass, the TFV12 is a high-quality piece of equipment. That swivel top fill, it's a bit on the stiff side, but that just means it's not going to swing open accidentally. Now, the coils perform well. I was just a little disappointed that the V12T12 coil only lasted a little longer than 2 weeks, but I must admit I did do a good deal of vaping during that time. And as with all the TFV tanks, the TFV12 is just a bit of a juice hog. This is a really, I think, impressive looking tank. I especially like the gold. I'm glad that that's what my friends at Huff and Puffer sent, was the gold one. It's pretty big, actually. And the logo for SMOK on here, actually kind of subdued. And if you don't have very dark e-juice in there, you can see the logo and the writing on those big coils through, again, all but about the darkest e-juice. I think that this is just really a very well made and good looking tank. I like the knurled feature here on the airflow adjustment, on the top. Just gives it a very classy look. SMOK lists the price for the TFV12 at $59.99, but Huff and Puffers, who supplied the TFV12 for 7 Report to Review, list the silver TFV12 for $32.99, the black, gold, and 7 colored versions for $34.99. That is an amazing price for such a high-performing, feature-rich tank. Now, the coils for the TFV12 are going to probably run you a little bit more than those for other tanks. SMOK again lists a 3-pack of the V12 T12 coils for $29.99. That's about $10 a coil. But again, Huff and Puffers has a much sweeter deal, listing those Dew and Dairy coils for only $17.99 for a 3-pack. And the other available coils for the SMOK TFV12 are going to be less expensive. Now, this is where that law of diminishing returns that we began this video with is going to come into play. If you already have one of the earlier TFV tanks, is there enough of a difference in the TFV12 to justify the expense of the initial purchase and those replacement coils? Well, that's a question only you can answer, but if you do decide to pick up the TFV12, you are not going to be disappointed. I've been so impressed with the SMOK TFV12 that I bought one for my wife, and she is really enjoying it, if that helps you make up your mind at all. The SMOK TFV12 is the pinnacle of the TFV series, producing maximum flavor and vapor that I've experienced with any tank. And with its wide range of available coils and those RBA options, this is a tank that will meet the needs of any vapor. Just be sure that you have a mod that's capable of firing those monster coils. I've been vaping with the SMOK TFV12 for a little over 3 weeks now, using it on the Kangertech K-Box 160, and I have vaped quite a few different e-juices in it. It's produced rich, full flavor with every one of them. Huff and Puffers provided the SMOK TFV12 for the purpose of this review, and in the description section of this video on the YouTube channel and the article on our website, 7report.com, I will have a link to the Cloud Beast King SMOK TFV12 product page on the Huff and Puffers website, so you can find out more about it. Maybe order one for yourself if you like. Again, thanks to our friends at Huff and Puffers for providing the SMOK TFV12 for us to review. Thank you for being with us today on 7 Report. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website, 7report.com. We update both of them all the time with hardware, e-juice reviews, informative articles, and a whole lot more. So I hope that you will keep coming back. And again, thank you for being with us today on 7 Report.